Anytime you're working with databases, especially in a corporate or sales environment, it's important that you're able to export the data for use in reports or accounting or anything business related for that matter. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can add exporting functionality to your grids. Let's get started. Adding export functionality to our grid turns out to be simple. Let me show you how to do this. In the code, I need to first edit my grid and add export types to it. The normal place to do this is at the end of your prepare columns function. I'm going to uncomment these two lines where I'm adding a CSV and an Excel export type to this grid. The add export type function gets inherited from the admin HTML widget grid. You can see we're supposed to pass it a URL and a label. The URL gets turned into an actual Magento URL and the label is displayed on the screen. Where this happens is in the grids template. I'm going to search for export types, and we can see that there's conditional tags in this file, which is basically saying if we've defined export types on our grid, we're going to output an additional toolbar and select menu for these export types. The last thing we need to do is add some actions to our controllers. Here I am in my events controller, and I'm going to uncomment these two actions, which essentially provide the functionality for exporting either as a CSV file or as an Excel file. Again, our core classes for the grid make this really easy because all we need to do is instantiate that type of block for our grid and then prepare a download response. This is an inherited function of our controller, and we're passing it another inherited function of the grid called getCSVFile, and for Excel, getExcelFile. I can show you what these functions are doing, but I'm not going to go too in depth. Basically, this is kind of a black box and some magic that Magento provides to us in order to convert a grid into a CSV or an Excel file. Let me quickly fix my docblock comments here so that my controller doesn't break. And okay, we're ready to reload the page and see what happens. So you can see it's added a small toolbar for exporting, and I can choose my file type, and then when I click on export, the page is going to load and a download is going to be saved to my computer. And here you can see that the Excel works seamlessly. Let's just verify that the CSV works. So by default it's comma separated. And this looks like it's going to import into Excel perfectly. So let's recap. As it turns out, adding export functionality to our grid isn't too difficult. We start by editing the prepare columns function and adding some export types which map to our controller actions. The controller actions process the request, but we use built-in Magento functionality to get CSV file or Excel file representations of our grid. So that does it for this section. Coming up in the next section, I'm going to talk to you about programming the catalog, so stay tuned.